all for joining us this morning. I'm Dwayne Hardy, and I am your Master of Ceremonies for today's event. Bill Reynolds and Stan Cockerell fought side by side in one of the bloodiest battles of the Vietnam War. Both men had been recommended for a Bronze Star Medal, but never received them. 20 years later, they found themselves living virtually next door to each other here in Santa Clarita. After a while, they separated once again. In 2000, the man who recommended both men for the honor discovered that neither had received his medal, and he decided to follow up on the recommendation. 45 years after the original recommendation, I would like to invite Councilman Bob Kellar to the stage to give a presentation to Bill and Stan. Bob.
Thank you, Dwayne. I'd like to invite two gentlemen up here. I'd like to invite Specialist Stanley Cockerell to please come up on the stage. Also, Sergeant William Reynolds, will you please come forward, sir? Stand right. As Dwayne indicated, these two men should have received their Bronze Star many, many, many years ago. We thought how appropriate at our Memorial Day program, with so many people to be here and recognize them, it would be best if we also acknowledge them here. There will be another occasion with our congressmen when they'll actually receive the Bronze Star, but they have been confirmed. We have the citations, and I'll be reading those in a couple of moments. June 19th, 1967, Father's Day. 9th Infantry Division, 4th Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment, Companies Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie, engaged a battalion-strength North Vietnamese Army entrenched in bunkers at a place called Ap Pac Village in the Mekong Delta, south of Saigon. Our soldiers were caught in an open rice field and subsequently sustained many casualties. I have read many accounts by soldiers that were in the battle that day and the many acts of heroism that took place. By the end of the day, 47 Americans had lost their lives, with another 140 wounded. 4 helicopters were shot down. The following day, at least 250 of the enemy were found dead. Specialist Cockerell, will you step forward, please? You are issued the Bronze Star Medal for Meritorious Service from 6 January 1967 to 8 January 1968, while serving as a member of Company C, 4th Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment, 9th Infantry Division, while in the Republic of Vietnam. Specialist Cockerell served with great distinction during combat operations while conducting intelligence gathering patrols. His leadership, dedication to duty, and tactical experience helped the unit to achieve and maintain a high level of mission success. Specialist Cockerell's actions are in keeping with the finest traditions of the military service and reflect great credit upon himself, 9th Infantry Division, and the United States Army. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Ship's company, and salute.
Thank you. Sergeant William Reynolds, will you please step forward? The Bronze Star Medal for Meritorious Service from 6 January 1967 through 6 January 1968, while serving as a radio operator and squad leader in Company C, 4th Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment, 9th Infantry Division, while in the Republic of Vietnam. Sergeant Reynolds consistently displayed exceptional performance with rapid assessments and solutions against determined hostile fighters. His dedication to duty, leadership abilities, and care for soldiers enabled his unit to achieve and maintain a high level of mission success. Sergeant Reynolds' actions are in keeping with the finest tradition of military service and reflect great credit upon himself, the 9th Infantry Division, and the United States Army. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Hand, salute.
Sergeant Reynolds, will you come forward and say a couple of words, sir?
To Stan and me, this award is a tribute to our old platoon leader, Lieutenant Jack Benedict, who after 30 years realized that his 12 remaining troopers out of his original 35 had not received the Bronze Star that he had requested back in September 1967. So last year he decided to pursue it, and thanks to Bob Kellar for presenting Jack's request to Congressman Buck McKeon and his man J.D. Kennedy, who diligently coordinated with the U.S. Army, it was approved. We are humbled and very grateful to be acknowledged here on a day where we remember our fallen is, to say the least, very humbling. Thank you, Mayor Bob Kellar, Congressman Buck McKeon, and J.D. Kennedy. This simply would not have happened if it were not for J.D., who is a veteran himself and a strong veterans advocate. Now I want to tell you just a little bit about Jack Benedict. Our platoon leader back then, Lieutenant Jack, lost both his legs in the Mekong Delta. But he persevered and learned to use prosthetic legs that enabled him to be the only active double amputee infantry officer in the United States Army at that time. After retiring as a major and having learned snow skiing, of all things, he went on to establish the USA Paralympic snow skiing, in which he competed and won numerous awards. And I've always thought that Jack Benedict's theme song should be Tom Petty's "I Won't Back Down." These days, Jack is suffering with Parkinson's, and he's been pretty much relegated to a wheelchair these days, but he won't back down. Stan and I also consider this award a tribute to all soldiers of the 4th of the 47th 9th Infantry Division, especially to the 249 soldiers of our battalion who gave the ultimate sacrifice in Vietnam. Several of our old 4th of the 47th troopers, our buddies, who served in one of the most unique fighting forces in our military's history, the Mobile Riverine Force, are out there. So I want to ask each one of you guys out there to stand up and be recognized. 4th of the 47th troopers, on your feet. For all of us guys that are here, there must be 10 or 12 of us all together. We were all drafted on May 16th or May 17th, 1966, and we ended up in a unit that went over there on a troop ship, a World War II style troop ship, and we were lucky, we made it. With a total of 24 campaign streamers, 8 presidential unit citations, 3 valorous unit citations, 1 meritorious unit commendation, and 8 foreign citations of honor for gallantry, the 47th Infantry Regiment, 9th Infantry Division, is one of the most decorated units in the United States Army. So yeah, we Vietnam veterans, we're a proud bunch. We fought for freedom just as our fathers had done in World War II. I'm going to end this with a piece written by Captain George Skypeck, 1st Cavalry, Vietnam. It's titled "Soldier." I was that which others did not want to be. I went where others feared to go and did what others failed to do. I asked nothing from those who gave nothing and reluctantly accepted the thought of external loneliness should I fail. I have seen the face of terror, felt the stinging cold of fear, and enjoyed the sweet taste of a moment's love. I have cried, pained, and hoped. But most of all, I have lived times others would say were best forgotten. At least someday, I will be able to say that I was proud of what I was, a soldier. Thanks, everybody.